Well, hello, my friends. This is Steve from Amateur Hour Gaming, and welcome back to Hardcore Vanilla. Now, it occurs to me that we've been doing this for like 10 episodes and something like 22 Minecraft days, and in all that time, I haven't built anything cool. So that's all about to end today, because this is going to be Lingko's new house. Now, I put up the frame ahead of time, so I knew what I would be doing while I was recording. And I guess I basically have two goals with this house that I'll talk about, and then we'll jump right into it. Now, in terms of building materials, I want it to blend in with the village around it. It should look like it belongs. It shouldn't stand out because it's built with odd stuff that wouldn't naturally occur here. However, I do want it to stand out in terms of architecture and, what you might call elegance of design, if I can be so bold. So with that in mind, we're going to basically use materials mostly that can be gathered above ground and some stuff that will be below ground. We're going to start off with the foundation and the floors. Now, I'm going to go with stone brick here. We're going to have a nice stone brick patio, and we're going to wrap all the way around the house in stone brick as well. Basically, this is picking up on the cobblestone foundations you see there, but hey, we're a little bit better than the average, Jawa, so we want to live a little bit better than them. Stick it in their eye a little bit. Show them how much more awesome it is when you're an engineer and not just a brute villager. So yes, we're going to be doing this. And then what we're going to be doing is, I'll show this off a little bit at first, and we'll come back to it in a second. We're going to be using polished diorite and polished granite for our flooring. These are some new blocks to 1.8, which is specifically why I'm using them. I kind of wanted to show them off a little bit. And with this nice Sphax texture pack, I mean, don't they look pretty cool? I would love to live in a house with white and red marble tiles. So let's go ahead and do that. And in the end, you're going to see that this house should come together. Should be a lot of nice space. It should be a beautiful place to live, I am certainly hoping. And I think it's going to look very elegant. So what I'm going to do is just go around the foundation here, finish this up, and then we'll cut back when I start doing the flooring. So as you can see, the foundation is now done. I'm quite pleased with that. It's maybe worth mentioning, I did consider actually letting the post and beam run all the way down to the ground, but I want to try and have a bit of realism to what I'm doing here. So I figured that in the real world, these posts would eventually sink into the ground and the second story would sag. So we're going to skip over doing that and stick with all stone foundation and whatnot. Now, okay, so for the flooring here, we're going to do a nice simple checkerboard. That's actually a waste of material because you won't be able to see that. But nonetheless, we're going to do a nice checkerboard style here with this red and white polished stone. I think it's going to look very nice once it's finished. Although, these things always look nice in the small scale, and you never know how they're going to look on a grand scale, so we'll have to see what comes up with that. But yes, this is going to be our basic pattern for the flooring here, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to look like once it all comes together. Oh, and there we go. Now look at that. Now isn't that gorgeous? I made a very simple pattern, but I'm really talking about the blocks. I really love the inclusion of this diorite and granite and andesite in 1.8. And again, I can't say enough about the work that the guys at Sphax have been doing. In really just, I think that's how Minecraft should look. I think it's how it should be played. I've tried thousands of texture packs. This one I think is the best. And of course, the proud Canadian boy in me does sort of like the alternating red and white. I did not waste time trying to make a maple leaf in the center, but I think it's nice and thematic for the, given my nationality. So I can see the sun is going down, so we're going to take a quick nap here. And then what we're going to do when we come back is we're going to start raising the walls and putting in floors and windows. I'm cooking some more stone here, as you can see. Now also, one thing I'm going to do with Hardcore is I am probably, after we do this build, because I don't want to be interrupted, I'm probably going to start just letting the camera continue to roll during the night. I don't think I'm going to skip the nights anymore. At this point, considering that I've got... Oh, we should put some doors in, since I got them. Considering I've got a pretty good supply of food and I've got some decent armor and weaponry and that kind of stuff, I really feel that combined with sleeping every night, it's taking most of the danger out of hardcore. Like, I wouldn't say that I've got the game beat, not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, falling during construction could potentially hurt me, but I want to put a little bit more risk back in the game, make it a little bit more exciting, because really, if you're sleeping and you're well geared, hardcore is just vanilla. You're just trying not to die. But anyways, before I continue on with the walls, I have this very neat little thing that I discovered. Now, I'm sure all of you knew that this was possible and I was the only one that didn't, but this signal from this lever will go through, absolutely 100%, it will go through this block. Bing! Now we have light. Isn't that fantastic? I was very pleased about that because I really didn't want to have these levers on the lamp somewhere. I think it would really take away from it. I mean, I guess if you put it like that, it kind of looks like a torch, but I think it looks a little bit lame as well. So I like the idea of just sort of tucking these outside. They'll hide under the eaves. We can basically just flip them on. They'll be in this kind of always on state, and we'll have some very nice lighting that should prevent things from spawning inside our house. Because if there's dark spots, it'll be big enough that if I'm sleeping in one corner, it's always possible somebody could spawn in the other corner. So, now, walls, yeah, which I've just run through because I'm too lazy to open a door, apparently. Let's put our diorite back. Again, we're going with something traditional. We're going to imitate sort of the blacksmith and these other sort of huts and everything. So, our plan here is going to be simple oak planks. Yeah, I really don't kind of like the fact that that lamp sticks out, but that said, it should look nice with the patio that I have planned to build here as well. So simple outlines like this, again, just reflecting what we're seeing in the village and leaving some nice space for window panes, which I'll put in a minute. So again, we're going to finish up our wall, put in our drywall, as it were, in this reno, and we will be back when everything is all walled in. And there we go, looking good, all sealed in nicely. I do like how these lamps in the center hang. It's a shame that the exterior ones sort of hit the wall, but I don't know. Like I say, we're going to benefit from that when we actually finish off this patio. So we're going to chuck in some windows and deal with the second floor. Now, I like panes because it looks nice, and it's a much more efficient way to make glass. Now, again, look out this window. Okay, or this window, or any other window. Do you see a lot of sand? Well, yes, maybe right there you see a little bit of sand, but it's not easy to come by, and there's so much cobble and dirt and other stuff when I actually dig, and all the new cobblestones, I guess, you know, like I say, the andesite and the like, really take up a lot of space. So sand is not the easiest thing to get to, so I like panes. And look at that, isn't that nice? You know, you got like nice little window ledges. I mean, they won't be functional. We can't actually place anything on there in Minecraft, but nonetheless, I think it looks good. I tell you, honest to gosh, in my real life, if I could live in a glass house, I would probably do it. Honest to goodness. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, you know, I'd love to have as much natural light as humanly possible. And, you know, I try to imitate that when I play Minecraft. So next up, we're going to put in our second story. What I envision here is fairly simple. Oh, I should be using slabs for this technically. That's probably more efficient. Yes, indeed, it probably is. So what I'm envisioning here is one room here where I'm building now on the second floor, a nice empty open space. We're gonna have a lot of light in here in the middle, and then back here we're gonna cover what will become the kitchen and eating area, and we'll sleep and whatnot up there. This area that I'm building now is going to end up being a place to enchant and a place to brew. That's my basic idea. We've got our workshop and kind of quasi-farm over there. It's our mine shaft, so anything sort of to do with minerals and things of that nature. Oh, I've got a crafting bench on my person. Because you should always have a crafting bench when you're playing Minecraft. What's wrong with you? It's like having a knife and a source of fire. You should just do that. So we're going to make a ton of slabs here instead. Oh yeah, there we go. That's really going to extend our materials nicely. And then we're going to get these floors worked in. And I got a sneaky little way that I'm going to make some stairs for it, I think. So, once we've got that little task done, we'll come back and we'll take another look at what it looks like with multiple stories. Okay, we managed to get the second floor in, but that took us pretty much all day. So, we've had a nap, and we are now just dealing with some of the friendlies that have appeared as a consequence. Looks like Mother Nature's taking care of most of them for us, so that's fantastic. But, as you can see, we've got second story set up, and we've got alternating staircases. I thought this would be a neat way to use this central space. You know, you come in, you go left or right, depending on what you want. get up here, and we are going to, probably just temporarily, but we are going to set up our bed. Kabam! I'm actually going to want to build another one because, hey, double bed, why not? But we'll be able to officially move our spawn point over to here. And I think that'll be nice. We'll actually start sleeping in this house. I see you, creepster. I see you. You're probably too far away to aggro me, so I'll leave you. But when I get out there, I'm going to kite you into a pool of water, because then your explosion is meaningless. Excellent. Okay, so, yes, what were we going to do? Oh, right. I have what I think is an interesting little way to use some of this space. I really like to try and get the most that I can out of any particular space that I build. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn... Ooh, can we? Yeah. We're going to turn these rooms, this gap under here, into like a little cubby hole. Like we might end up making one into a bathroom and like put an armor stand and another one to act as like a bit of a closet or something. I think that just might look a little bit neat. So let's give that a quick shot, see if we can button that up. And then we'll make some extra doors. I like how you get 3, except, you know, like, yes, fences are more expensive. Hey, did that on purpose. So fences are more expensive in Minecraft now. Doors are cheaper because they give you 3. Ooh, do I like that? Do I like covering up the lamp? Well, maybe. It doesn't look so terrible. We'll have to live with it. It'll make the house unique. It'll give it its own sort of feel. But yes, fences are more expensive. Doors are cheaper, but you know what? Do you really need 3 doors most of the time when you're building 3 of them? I mean, I'm just saying, right? But thanks, Mojang. Thanks for making them cheaper. You guys rule my computer world. Okay, so doors. Now I got 4 doors. Oh, maybe we'll have to create a nice double wide. So for now, I'm thinking that since this is going to be close to the kitchen, I'll turn this little space into some kind of bathroom. And this, since it's sort of near the entryway where you come in, that seems like a neat place where you'd want to, you know, go in and like drop off your armor and maybe your shoes, or equally we could do like a little place like an ashtray to dump your keys and your loose change and stuff like that. So here we are. Now, second story is really going to be all roof. You know, we're not going to elevate these walls too much, but the interior walls I'm going to try to do something interesting with as well, and that is going to take some fencing. Now, I like fences because they are like a wall in terms of being a barrier, both psychologically and visually, but you get to see through them. So let's take a quick look at what we're going to do in terms of that kind of theme. Now, normally, I would build this with a wider variety of woods. I'm a big fan of using spruce as for these logs here because it's nice and rich and dark, and I think it looks very good. And then it contrasts very well with birch. Again, whether you're using default or a texture pack, facts for the win. You know, you're gonna find that they go together so nicely as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we'd have a fence there. A fence there, a fence. Okay, yeah, we're just working out in my brain how I'm going to put down my stairs. I'll give you an idea of what the roof is actually going to look like. We certainly won't start building the roof here, but, or I mean at this time. Oh no, damage! Can you imagine that? Could you imagine if that's how I died in hardcore, was falling damage? Not a zombie, not a monster of any kind, not lava. Not even really, you know, outright stupidity. I didn't die of hunger. That's the other shameful way to die in Minecraft, from not eating. I mean, come on. But actually, to die from falling damage. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So, if we could get that to place normally. Pretty much, that is how our roof is going to look. So we are going to lose a lot of space in here, but I think that's kind of cool. It gives it a bit of a loft feel. And this is what I'm going for with walls, right? Like, you'll be able to see in the other rooms, but like I say, you've got that nice sort of barrier. Should we do one up here? I think we should. I think that looks very nice. So yeah, we'll do the same on the other side here. I probably have to stop to make some more fences, and then we'll come back when we're starting in on the next step. Now, as you can see, once we got the wall in, I realized with the roof peaking the way that it does, we actually needed to bring out the staircase one so we could, you know, actually get in to our room. And I think what I'm going to do is actually place doors up here as well. So we're going to extend this out. And this is nice because while I liked the idea of having a little cubby hole, I think actually having the 2 spaces back here will make whatever this becomes a little bit more of a useful space. And again, you know, why not try to imitate reality a little bit when you're doing this stuff, you know? It's all part and parcel of the fun, I think. So let's see how we like that. So plink, and let's get up in here and see, oh yeah, double doors. I think a wooden pressure plate on the back side would be nice. Or can we do it up front? Do you want doors? Yeah, I think I would want a door on my bedroom. Don't you want a door on your bedroom? Sure, who doesn't like a door on their bedroom? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and clearly we're going to have to be locking up our enchanting space up there. Because, you know, all the dark magics and fell beasts that we may or may not create in the process of doing it clearly need to be contained. So we're going to duplicate our pattern on this side, and we'll come back when we start working on the roof, I think. So next up on our way up to the roof is to start working on the, I don't know, the second story balcony, if you will. It would have been nice if it was off the master bedroom, but I do like sleeping over the kitchen because, well, you'll see. I have a little surprise for what we're going to do in the kitchen and why it needs to be above or be below the bedroom for it to work. So we're going to start working in here with slabs. Now again, we're going to use a lot of slabs on this roof as well. Obviously, stairs, as you've seen me start, but this whole central column area is going to be just flat topped. I'm not going for a peak. I'm going for something that looks a little bit more rounded, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually comes together. Ba-bing. If I had more redstone, I would probably make another set of lamps there, but I don't, so I won't. So that's that. We'll get up on the second story and actually you know, put up a barrier and some lighting and stuff. For here, we're going very simple, very classic. Just going to be a fence around the border, and you know, we're going to put some torches out to illuminate the patio. But I think this is a nice little stone patio, nice touch going on here. Do I have any torches? Indeed, I do. Check me out. One on the corner and one on the corner, and that should be good. There we go. So now comes kind of the dangerous part in terms of fall damage and climbing and all this kind of thing. Now, if I can get up here without too much danger. Oh, we've managed to reset our spawn point. Very proud about that. Am I going to need my hoe? Something tells me the answer is no. No, I will not. So yes, anyways, this is now officially our spawn point. So I think that's a nice little accomplishment. We're actually sleeping somewhere other than the blacksmith's house for a change. Because, I mean, like, I don't sleep at work. You don't sleep at work. Why should poor Lingko have to sleep at work? You know? My gosh, the guy does more than enough for me. I've kept him awake for days and days and days at some points. The absolute poor man. I feel for him, but only a little. Because when he's staying awake, that's because I'm getting to do awesome stuff. So there's that, I guess. Alright, come on, come on. The other thing about working with slabs, they don't come apart as individual blocks. So what we're going to be doing here, I think, is definitely in this central area here, we're going to have a lot of illumination. I'm going to sort of make something of a cross shape. So for starters, I'm really just going to run this whole strip of slabs back to the other end of the building, see how I like the peak, and then maybe we'll come back and we'll start like knocking out spaces for a skylight. Alright, now as you can see, we've got the whole top of the roof done. Now we're getting to the part that, this is the one thing that I didn't sort of plan out in my brain ahead of time. I want to be able to create a lot of light in the central area of this building, because, you know, it's going to be darkened up by having a second floor in a couple of places. So the idea here would be to build, you know, like a lot of the classic Gothic cathedrals that you'll see in Europe and whatnot from that time period. They were built in a cross to allow more light to come in. They thought, you know, light brought you closer to God or whatever. So we're going to imitate that, because I think it will end up looking very nice once we're inside. And in real life and in Minecraft, I'm a big fan of natural light. So I think we're actually going to try and push this all the way out to the edges here. And we'll have to see what sort of structure that means once we're doing the roof. I don't want to peak them, because I do want to have multiple spaces to place glass in. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So I'm letting you kind of see this, you know, live and uncut, as it will, because I don't know. I think sometimes the thought process is neat. Plus, since this is the one thing I didn't plan, this will be the place where everything goes all sideways and squicky. And I mean, who doesn't like watching somebody stumble a little bit online, right? It'll make you feel better about your home builds. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get this baby done. And it's going to be nice, too, because we're going to end up recapturing a lot of these slabs in the long run. Because we'll be chopping them all out. And wow. We're not exactly creating a masterpiece here, but I'm starting to get a sense of how guys like, you know, Da Vinci and Michelangelo felt when they had to be up on these really, really high structures trying to do fine work. Do you know that basically Michelangelo went blind? He effectively went blind creating the Sistine Chapel. Like, his masterpiece effectively ended his fantastic art career because all the plaster would fall into his eyes. Like, you know, over the lifetime of doing this, he ended up with all these little splatters of red and blue and yellow and whatever in his eyes. And by the time he was done, he had gone blind. And I don't know. I think that's interesting and a little bit sad. Like, it's astounding that he gave us the Sistine Chapel. I mean, this is a work of art, regardless of your, you know, religious taste or affiliation or whatever the right word for that is. You can't deny that that's just a beautiful piece of art, whether or not you agree with what it depicts. But again, like, he did his finest work and then basically had to stop because he couldn't see. I mean, could you imagine, like, in baseball or hockey, like, you win the Stanley Cup and then you have to retire. You hit a game-winning home run and then you're done. That's it. You're sitting on the bench. You're all finished. Like, you know, it's almost like it's a travesty is the word that comes to mind, which is a bit grand, but it is in its own way, just an absolute... Oh, bye-bye, axe. Okay, yeah. So there you go. I just think it's sad and fascinating in its own way, right? That this guy gave so much of himself to his work. Well, it looks like it's getting dark, so I think what we're gonna do is take a nap, make some new tools, and I'll come back when I've actually kind of got the shape I want cut out of this building. So I will see you guys then. Well, hello, my friends. I want to thank you very much for hanging out with me today and watching part 1 of the hardcore house build. Now, as it turns out, it took about 60 minutes total to record this whole build, and I did completely lose track of time. So we're going to call this part 1 of a 3-part series on building Lingko's new homes. So again, I just want to thank you guys, as usual, for hanging out and playing games with me. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you don't. Please feel free to comment either way. I hope you do come back over the rest of the week to catch episodes 2 and 3 and watch how the house comes together. Also, spoiler, there's a really exciting ending. So with that note, I will thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next time. Take care.